neurophysiology of sleep paralysis. So first of all, can you guys try to define what sleep paralysis is? Yes, Wesley?
Sleep paralysis is when you go sleepy, but then you wake up and you can't move and there's a demon in the corner.
Well said. Elena, any ideas of what sleep paralysis is?
Well, basically what you said, yes.
Okay. Very simple. Sleep paralysis is a very common sleep disorder, and usually when people experience sleep paralysis, they think that it's only happening to them. Like for example, when I experienced sleep paralysis back when I was in grade 7 and 8, those two grades, I always frequently, at least twice a week, I experienced sleep paralysis. I thought I was just the only one who's experiencing it, and I thought I was going crazy or something like that, literally psychotic. But the good news is a very common sleep disorder. It's self-diagnosable. That means you can self-diagnose yourself. You don't have to go to a doctor or anything like that. The person look at the paintings very closely. That's how it feels when you have sleep paralysis. It feels like this huge pressure on top of you, and like a demon is on top of you, and you cannot move, and you want to move but you can't. But now in this PowerPoint, I want to show the science behind sleep paralysis, and that it is not just it's not just cultural folklore, but actually there's science. So if you go to the next slide, it's about the signs and symptoms. So there's sleep onset, hypnagogic hallucinations, and sleep offset, hypnopompic hallucinations. So it's very active, same as when you're awake. It is during non-REM sleep, NREM, where your ECG is very flat and calm. But in REM sleep, that's why dreams occur during REM sleep. And same thing with sleep paralysis as well. So if you see here, cortical activation and sensory blockade is engaged. That types of hallucinations. There's the intruder, where there's the visual and auditory hallucinations, sounds of doorknobs, footsteps, and turning of shaking of your bed or something like that. Incubus, feelings of pressure in the chest, as I said before, difficulty in breathing. You cannot even some people experience even being sexually assaulted. Vestibular motor, which is like a sense of falling, spinning, floating, flying. This all can be said as out-of-body experiences. Next, what happens is neurotransmitters within the brainstem, and we will touch upon the neurotransmitters. But neurotransmitters within the brainstem is the reason why our muscle is paralyzed. Communicate. If you see this picture over here, this is a neuron, and this is upsy neuron. This is a glutamatergic subsea neuron. This is a glutamatergic subsea neuron, right? So within these neurons are GABA and glycine neurotransmitters. If you look here closely, over here in the axon terminal, that's how it looks like. These small things over here, the vesicles, has the neurotransmitters in it. So GABA and glycine is present within these vesicles, and the receptors are here. So for GABA, the receptors are GABA A, GABA B. For glycine, the receptors are glycine receptor. Simple as that. So that's how it happens, and that's how when this communicate with each other, and a lot of them communicate with each other, and then that would lead to muscle paralysis. GABA and glycine responsible for muscle paralysis. It could also be responsible for activating the sensory system and maintaining the ocular and respiratory movements intact. So it causes muscle paralysis, but it's also hypothesized that it also causes sleep paralysis. What do you take away? The glutamatergic subsea neurons. Within these neurons are the GABA and glycine neurotransmitters. Okay? And then they connect to the receptors, which is GABA B and GABA A for GABA, and then glycine receptor for the 5-HT2AR and the serotonin 2A receptors. They're the one. It's very. This is very factual. We know that these are the reason why hallucinations happen, and it occurs in the temporoparietal junction of the disorder. So anything that influences your sleeping patterns, and it's not good. You don't have a good sleeping pattern. There's a high chance that you might experience sleep paralysis. The interesting thing about here is that people who has beliefs in demons and supernatural stuff, they also have a high chance of having sleep paralysis as well, that compared to someone who don't believe in demons and supernatural. Possible trigger in the last slide. Are there available treatments? Well, there are no published clinical trials for treating sleep paralysis. None. There are no possible treatments for sleep paralysis. But Dr. Devon Hinton, he used psychoeducation, which is practically saying that, hey, many people experience sleep paralysis. That's all. Do you have any questions? Yes, go.
Okay, so first thing, so you say there's like dendrites on the end of the cell?
And are the neurons, yes.
Yeah, neurons. What do they have to do with like dendritic cells? Like what's the origin of like the word dendrite?
Oh, so I don't know the origin, but I know where you're coming from, like dendrites and then dendritic cells. But maybe what I think is that dendritic cells are they like the one that, microbe peptide, like the receptors from the microbe, they attach to their surface. They go to the lymphatic vessel, go to the lymph node, and then connect with the T cell, destroy the microbe. So that's the dendritic cell. Dendrites are like the one that receiving signals, so I don't see how, and then sending signals to the axon terminal. So maybe that's how they're similar. But they're completely different in function.
Okay. And you say glycine. There's like the neurotransmitter of glycine. What does that have to do with the base glycine? We have ACGT. G stands for glycine. In like DNA. So what does that have to do with the glycine cell neurotransmitter?
Sure. I think
And
there's a connection.
final one. How does one cause sleep paralysis? Let's say you don't naturally have sleep paralysis. How would one cause sleep paralysis?
Well, first of all, you have to mess up your sleeping pattern. Like, have a very bad sleeping pattern. Like, drink alcohol. I don't advise you to do that. Actually, don't do that. Stress and trauma. Like, have a lot of stress.
Okay.
Go through trauma if you want to, but no.
Let's say
don't.
if you.
It's kind of hard, yeah.
Do you experience sleep paralysis?
Right now?
No,
not at all. In general?
Like, do you
The
experience
last
sleep
time-
paralysis after watching like a scary movie or something? Or playing a scary game?
There's a high chance, yes.
What about Can you how can you cause hypnagogic hallucinations?
Hypnagogic? Hypnagogic hallucinations is from sleep paralysis.
It's not really-
one of the symptoms.
Is it?
Sleep paralysis.
Okay. For sleep paralysis, like, can you have hypnagogic hallucinations if you don't have sleep paralysis?
I think so, yes. You can have this hallucination because people with narcolepsy have it. People with like sleep apnea have it. People with PTSD have it. So it's not necessarily for you to have sleep paralysis. It's just one thing that happens during sleep paralysis, these hallucinations.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Clap.
Okay. So here are the worksheets that are available for you to work on for you guys to understand more on the topic. The first worksheet is going to be parts of the brain and where sleep paralysis occurs. So you can start.
Okay, I'm just gonna. Done.
Perfect.
Ooh, well, I know these are the dendrites. And the axon terminals. I'm assuming. Well, these are the receptors. I know that. And those are the vesicles. There we go.
There we go.
Why is it so much easier to write in cursive on Notability? I have no idea.
And axon terminals.
Axon terminals. Axon terminals. Are these the axon? Okay.
They're individual organs, but it's
We have G, A, B, A,
correct.
G, A, B, A, B. And then here are like the glycine, because these are the ones that are transmitting. And then the that's not a G, that's a C. Okay. Yes?
Yes, perfect. Yes, you got it right.
Just like
and you, Wesley? So you label the neurotransmitters, GABA and glycine. What about the receptors? This is neurotransmitters.
I don't know which one the receptors are.
So neurotransmitters sends darn. Good job, guys. How was it? How was the quiz?
It was fantastic.
Wesley?
He thinks it was fantastic.
It was fun.
Okay, perfect.